Hi, it's Professor Netzel again. I'm just going to talk a little bit today about why I like contracts and why it is relevant to your experience and will be relevant to your experience as an attorney, and in the hope that will actually make it more enjoyable and motivate you to understand this topic and get engaged with it. And I think I have a few tricks up my sleeve to help that process along. The reason I like contracts is because, unlike other areas of law, you're actually doing constructive. People who are dealing with each other, who are trading with each other, aren't fighting each other. So it's a way of producing a win-win solution. If you get a good contract, each party gets something that they want. They may have to give up something they would have liked, but they get the thing that's most important to them. And in more difficult situations, at least you're managing conflict. And so, I've used this knowledge over the course of the time I've been a practitioner to help resolve things, to design a contract in an individual situation that solves a couple's intermarital problems, or at least manages this problem. You can't always solve problems, but you can often manage them. Sometimes, other times, I've done some contract review to try to see, well, if my client enters into this contract, what are the good sides of it? What are the vulnerable sides of it? Is there something that we should change? I've done it for myself. I had lost everything in Katrina and needed to rent an apartment. And so I went over the lease and I said, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Okay, you Lester, I want you to initial here. Okay, so now we have something that we're both comfortable with. So it's useful. It's another way of looking at this kind of law that one of my friends once told me. He's a bankruptcy attorney, and I asked him, "Do you like what you're doing? Because you're kind of breaking up people's businesses, that kind of stuff." He said, "No, look at it this way. I'm not putting anyone in jail who shouldn't be there. And I'm not keeping anybody out of jail who should be in jail. And I'm not taking anybody's kids away. All I'm doing is moving money from one pocket to another pocket." So that's I guess a more negative way of looking at it than I would, but it's still something that I think most of us can relate to and find a positive in it. There are a number of different kinds of law practice, and a lot of us start law school not understanding that. So I am giving you a link as well to a young female attorney who will talk about a number of the different areas of practice, because what I always tell students is that part of your job, your first, second, and third year of law school, is to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. And think of this as another course in law school. It focusing your aptitudes and your interests in a specific direction to find an area of law that will interest you, engage you, that will have a lifestyle that you can deal with. That's going to take time, about as much time as another course in law school. Contracts is going to be relevant to you regardless of what area of law you practice in, because 95% of all lawsuits settle. What is a settlement? Oh yeah, it's a contract, okay? So whether you're doing a plea bargain as a prosecutor or as a defense attorney, or whether you're coming up with a custody agreement, or a dividing family assets as a family attorney, or as a transactional attorney, you may be negotiating contracts. You may be working on a merger and acquisition. You may be resolving debt and giving somebody a new start in life. That is part of being a bankruptcy attorney. Mergers and acquisitions. Oh, he breaks up companies. Actually, it's not a bad thing. We call it creative destruction. And under creative destruction, that means that you take a company that's not doing as well as it could, and you actually reconfigure it. You get rid of this, you add that, and you say, okay, you're going to be a new company, and you're heading in a slightly different direction, but most of you are still here, and now hopefully you'll be able to make money and stay active as an attorney and effective as a company. So I find this a wonderful and very creative area of legal practice. And so to help show you some of this, I'm going to be creating some, I think, interesting assignments. You'll be negotiating contracts. You'll learn a little bit about drafting them. And that will engage all that you've learned about offer and acceptance, and reading a contract and interpreting it, and seeing what to do when the deal fails. How to provide for contingencies. You got to balance, because if you provide for every contingency, the contract will be this long, and nobody will sign it. So you have to balance between what the client wants, which is something as short and sweet as possible and easy to understand, and what you want as an attorney, which is to try to protect your client while coming up with an agreement that the other party is going to sign too. Okay, so I hope this helped you a little bit, and I look forward to some new and engaging things on my Obligations Charter course. Thanks. Bye.